So selection time for the Lions versus the Lions. That's going to get confusing. So the British and Irish Lions versus the Emirates Lions. As you can see, that's the first game on the tour proper. So let's get into it. On selection now, it's not really about who's played best in the last game, because as Gatland said, he wants to get everyone game time in these first few games, and it's going to take a while because we've got new players coming in as well. Exeter boys are arriving, Cowan Dickey, even though he's concussed, Hill, Sam Simmons, Hogg, and then of course the replacements for Alan Wynne-Jones and Tipperick, Navidi and Beard, they're new as well. I don't think they should play in this game. Give them a week to bed in, to rest as well, those guys from the amazing Premiership final, and then probably play next week. But certainly players that haven't played at all last week need to play, and then those on the bench who didn't play much need to play. So, here's my team. I'm going to go through my rationale. Let me know what you think. First of all, in the front row, let's go for Wynne-Jones, George and Sinclair. All these guys were on the bench in the last game, so I think they need a start. I thought Sutherland did pretty well in the scrum, to be honest, and scrummaging is going to be a big thing in South Africa. Wynne-Jones needs a big game in the scrum, so I'm definitely going to be watching that carefully. George, like I said, came on and ran around a bit like a mad thing, didn't get to do a lot, so he'll have a great chance. The hooker slot, I think, is wide open. Carl Sinclair came on, thought he did absolutely great, but he's going to have to absolutely go some if he's going to push Tyg Furlong out of his starting spot at the moment. But definitely that impact sub is all to play for. Xander Fagerson coming on to try and contest that as well. Mako Vunipola is going to be coming on for Wynne-Jones. Now, fairly or unfairly, all eyes are going to be on Mako Vunipola's scrummaging, because we know what happened in the World Cup final. What he can do around the park at his best is phenomenal, so let's see how he goes. Owen's on the bench covering George if needed. Maybe not a huge amount of game time for Owens because he played the majority last week. Luke Cowan Dickey, again, needs a weekend off, being played in that final anyway, plus he's concussed, so let's see how that goes. Could be a bit thin on hookers for a while. In the second rows, Laws was on the bench against Japan, came on, did well. Atoje is now had a couple of weeks with the Lions, so I think those two English guys are the pairing in the second row. Probably their most athletic pairing. They need to show this mobility. If Gatland's going for a game plan based on mobility, then these two have a great chance of showing that. Back row wise, Curry I think has to drop to 6, even though I prefer him at 7. And now with the arrival of Navidi, there's a lot more competition for 6. So I think Curry has probably got a best shot at 7. But Hamish Watson was going to start at 7 last game before a minor injury. So I think he should start at 7, Curry at 6. And then poor Talupe Faletau didn't get to play in his favourite position of 8 last match, or even 6 indeed. So let's play him at 8, see if he can have one of his normal big games and get him back into contention. Scrum half, Price, who was on the bench last time, needs to start. It's a bit harsh at the moment for Price now that Murray's the new captain and he's got the starting test spot sewn up. So Price and Davis are going to be slugging it out for impact sub in the test. But hey, at least it's something to fight for. Now, the midfield, absolutely fascinating. I'm pairing Russell in, Farrell at 12. So 10-12, Russell and Farrell. Only in the Lions would this happen. You think personality-wise they're miles apart, but I'm sure they'll work together for the sake of the Lions. At least they'll have Harris. I've picked Harris at 13, so Russell has some familiarity there, and Farrell slots in between them. But yeah, that's pretty fascinating stuff. Can't wait to see that. Henshaw's on the bench mainly as cover, but I'd expect these three to play the majority of the game. Back three, I'd go for Reece Sammet. He's very exciting and he's got a genuine chance at playing in the tests. Those wings are definitely not sewn up. I'm putting Daly on the other wing. I know he's been picked as a centre, but let's get him some game time. Let's not leave him languishing. Maybe he moves into 13 at some point in the game. We'll see. And I'd keep Watson at 15. I think that's a genuine shout, him being a bolter at 15. Plus, it gets everyone in the game. It works well for the balance. And then the bench, I've pretty much mentioned the front row. Tyg Byrne, I'd have there a second row cover mainly. Let's see him slot into the second row, see how he does there. Hill, I'd rest because obviously he's coming from that extra game. Conan on the bench, Simmons resting, Gareth Davis I've mentioned, Henshaw covering, and then Liam Williams covering the back three. So that starting 15, want to get them plenty of game time, and then in the third game there's a few more guys to get in there, but then you'll start mixing around based on performance and it gets very interesting. Anyway guys, that's my selection for the Lions versus the Lions. Let me know what you'd go for and why, and I'll catch you next time.